Good morning everyone. Myself Indranil Mondol, Assistant Professor in Mechanical Engineering Department. Today I am going to present an important lecture on engine suspension system. Part 1 related to automobile engineering. Let's start the lecture.
These are the main contents: suspension system, vehicle axis system, layout of suspension system, functions of suspension system, leaf springs and coil spring. Let's discuss one by one. Basic introduction of suspension system. The automobile frame and body are mounted on the front and rear axle, not directly but through the springs and shock absorbers. The assembly of parts which perform the isolation of parts from the road shocks may be in the forms of bounce, pitch and roll is called suspension system. Suspension system consists of a spring and damper. The energy of road shock causes the spring to oscillate. These oscillations are restricted to a reasonable level by the damper, which is more commonly called as shock absorbers. Vehicle axis system. There are three types of rotations: a roll rotation about x-axis, a pitch rotation about y-axis and a yaw rotation about z-axis. Basic suspension movements. There are three types of basic suspension movements: bouncing, pitching and rolling. What is bouncing? The vertical movement of the complete body. Pitching is the rotating movement of all parts between the spring and rod and the portion of spring weight itself. Rolling is the movement about longitudinal axis produced by the centrifugal force during cornering. This is the layout of suspension system. This is steering gear. This is McPherson strut. This is knuckle arm. This one is ball joint. This one is stabilizer bar. This one is engine cradle. This one is lower control arm. This one is steering knuckle. These two are control arms and this is spindle. This is tie rod. This one is strut assembly and this one is cross member. What are the main functions of suspension system? It prevents the vehicle body and frame from road shocks. It gives stability of the vehicle. It safeguards the passengers and goods from road shocks. It also gives the good road holding while driving, cornering and braking. It gives cushioning effect. It provides comfort. These are the basic functions of suspension system. What are the basic requirements of suspension system? There should be minimum deflection. It should be of low initial cost. It should be of minimum weight. It should have low maintenance and low operating cost, and it should have minimum tire wear. There are two types of vehicle masses: sprung mass and unsprung mass. This is the two symmetric diagrams: sprung weight and unsprung weight, sprung mass in chassis and unsprung mass in suspension. Sprung weight. When the road wheel comes across a bump or pit on the road, it is subjected to vertical forces, tensile or compressive, depending upon the nature of the road irregularity. These are absorbed by the elastic compression, shear, bending or twisting of the spring. The mode of spring resistance depends upon the type and material of the spring used. Further, when the front wheel strikes a bump, it starts vibrating. These vibrations die down exponentially due to damping present in the system. The rear wheel, however, reaches the same bump after certain time depending on the wheelbase and the speed of the vehicle. Of course, when the rear wheel reaches the bump, it experiences similar vibrations as experienced by the front wheel some time ago. It is seen that to reduce pitching tendency of the vehicle, the frequency of the front sprinting system should be less than that of the rear sprinting system. From human comfort point also, it is seen that it is desirable to have low vibration frequencies. The results of the studies on human beings have shown that the maximum amplitude which may be allowed for a certain level of discomfort decreases with the increase of vibration frequency. Unsprung weight. Unsprung weight is the weight of vehicle components between the suspension and the road surface. This includes rear axle assembly, steering knuckle, front axle in case of rear drive rigid axle suspension, wheels, tires and brakes. The sprung weight, that is the weight supported by the vehicle suspension system, includes the frame, body, engine and the entire transmission system. When the wheels strike against a bump, they vibrate along with other unsprung parts which store the energy of the vibrations and then further transit it to the sprung parts via the springs. Thus it is seen that the greater the weight of the unsprung parts, greater will be the energy stored due to vibrations and consequently greater shocks. I have told you about sprung mass in a vehicle with a suspension such as an automobile, motorcycles or a tank. Sprung mass or sprung weight is the portion of vehicle's total mass that is supported above the suspension. The sprung weight typically includes the body, frame, the internal components, passengers and cargo. It does not include the mass of the components suspended below the suspension components, including the wheels, wheel bearings, brake rotors and calipers. This is the schematic diagram of sprung mass. Unsprung mass that I have already told. In a ground vehicle with a suspension, the unsprung weight or the unsprung mass is the mass of the suspension, wheels or tracks and other components directly connected to them rather than supported by the suspension. Unsprung weight includes the mass of components such as the wheel axles, wheel bearings, wheel hubs, tires and a portion of the weight of drive shafts, springs, shock absorbers and suspension links. Let's discuss what are the various types of suspension system. There are three types of suspension systems: springs, independent suspension and shock absorbers, air or pneumatic suspension, stabilizer or anti-load bar and hydroplastic suspension. Springs are further classified as steel springs and rubber springs. Steel springs are further classified as leaf spring, tapered leaf spring, coil spring, torsion bar. Rubber springs are further classified as compression spring, compression shear spring, steel reinforced spring, progressive spring, face shear spring and torsional shear spring. Independent suspension is further classified as front wheel or dead, is further classified as wishbone or parallel link type, McPherson strut type, vertical guide type, trailing link type and swinging half axle type. Shock absorbers are further classified as telescopic type shock absorbers and lever arm type shock absorbers. Air suspension system is further classified as air spring. There are two types of air springs, first bellow type and second piston type. Another suspension systems are stabilizer or anti-load bar, and hydroelastic suspension. This is the basic types of suspension system. Leaf springs. This is the schematic diagram of leaf springs. From this figure, it gives a rear axle leaf spring of semi-elliptical type. The spring consists of a number of leaves called blades. The blades vary in length as shown in this figure. The composite spring is based upon the theory of a beam of uniform strength. The lengthiest blade has eyes on its ends. This blade is called master leaf. All the blades are bound together by means of steel straps. The spring is supported on the axle front or rear by means of a U-bolt. One end of the spring is mounted on the frame with a simple pin, while on the other end connection is made with a shackle. When the vehicle comes across a projection on the road surface, the wheel moves up, deflecting the spring. This changes the length between the spring eyes. If both the ends are fixed, the spring will not be able to accommodate this change of length. This is provided for by means of a shackle at one end, which gives a flexible connection. So, what I am talking, leaf springs are formed by bending. They are made of long strips of steel. Each strip is named as leaf. The long leaf is called as master leaf and it consists of eyes at both ends. One end is fixed to the chassis frame, the other end is fixed to the shackle spring. The spring will get elongated during expansion and shortened during compression. This change in length of spring is compensated by the shackle. The U-bolt and clamps are located at the intermediate position of the spring. The bronze or rubber buses are provided on both eyes on the master leaf, originally called a laminated or carriage spring. This is another schematic diagram of leaf springs. What are the basic materials that are used for leaf spring? The suitable steels that have been used for leaf springs are chrome vanadium steel, silicon manganese steel and carbon steel. What are the main constituents of chrome vanadium steel? Carbon of 0.46%, manganese of 57%, silicon of 0.17%, nickel of 0.15%, chromium of 1.40% and vanadium of 0.18%. What are the main constituents of silicon manganese steel? Carbon of 0.52%, manganese of 1.05%, silicon of 1.95%, chromium for 0.05%. What are the main constituents of carbon steel? Carbon of 0.55%, manganese of 0.60%, silicon of 0.20%. These are the various materials that are used for leaf spring. What are the basic types of leaf springs? There are 6 types of leaf springs: full elliptic type, semi elliptic type, quarter elliptic type, 3/4 elliptic type, transverse spring type and helper spring type. Let's discuss one by one. Full elliptic type. The advantage of this type is the elimination of shackle and spring. The lubrication and wear frequently, which are one of the main drawback of this type of spring. These are two schematic diagrams of full elliptic type. Semi-elliptic type. This type is more popular for rear suspension, are used in 75% of cars. Quarter elliptic type. These are two schematic diagrams of quarter elliptic type. This type is rarely used in nowadays. It gives very less resistance in road shocks. 3/4 elliptic type. This is the schematic diagram of 3/4 elliptic type. This type is rarely used in nowadays. It gives resistance but occupies more space than other types. Transverse spring type. This is a schematic diagram of transverse spring type. This type of spring is arranged transversely across the car instead of longitudinal direction. The transverse spring for front axle, which is bolted rigidly to the frame at the center and attached to the axle by means of shackle at both ends. Last, helper spring type. This is a schematic diagram of helper spring. U-bolt, helper spring, rear axle, main spring. These are two brackets, shackle and frame. The helper springs are used in heavy vehicles for rear suspension. When vehicle fully loaded, the main spring as well as helper spring to come in action and absorb the road shocks. When the load of the vehicle is less, the helper spring will not act and the main spring only absorb the road shocks. These are all 6 types of leaf springs. These all are schematic diagrams of 6 types of leaf spring: elliptic type, semi-elliptic type, 3/4 elliptic type, quarter elliptic type and transverse elliptic type. Coil spring. The coil springs are used mainly with independent suspension, though they have also been used in the conventional rigid axle suspension as they can be well accommodated in restricted spaces. The energy stored per unit volume is almost double in the case of coil springs than the leaf springs. Coil springs do not have noise problems, nor do they have static friction causing harshness of ride as in case of leaf springs. The spring takes the shear as well as bending stresses. The coil springs, however, cannot take torque reaction and side thrust, for which alternative arrangements have to be provided. These are two schematic diagrams of coil springs. This is main spring and this is helper spring. This is another schematic diagram of coil spring. You see this portion is coil spring. This is ball joints, upper control arm, stabilizer, shock absorber. This one is front hanger, leaf spring and rear shackle. What I am talking about coil spring, the coil springs are mainly used in independent suspension, though they have also been used in conventional rigid axle suspension. They can be accommodated in restricted spaces. The energy stored per unit volume is almost double in coil spring than the leaf spring. Coil spring do not have noise problem, nor do they have static friction. Spring takes shear as well as bending stresses. A helper coil spring also sometimes used to provide progressive stiffness against increasing load. It cannot take side thrust and torsional load, so that alternative arrangement is used there. From this video lecture, you will get knowledge about the basics of suspension system, functions of suspension system, various types of suspension systems, leaf springs and coil spring. In my next video lecture, I will discuss rubber springs, torsion bar and shock absorbers. Please stay connected with me. If you like this video, please like, share and subscribe my channel. Thank you.